The Movie Thing Podcast, the Movie Thing Podcast. The only reason why it's still here is because it gives me a chance to talk about movies. Yeah.
I'm tap dancing right now.
No. Scooby-Dooby-Dop-Bop-Bop. Yeah, it's just, we don't have Nick Squared today. I would say this week, but we did have it this week, just not today. Yeah, for the Movie Thing Podcast, where we talk about movie-related shit.
Yep, there can only be one.
Yes. One, actually, we're only like the 835, movie podcast out there. But maybe you should listen to ours. You never know. I don't know. Maybe. I listen to ours. No, I don't. I don't know. Really, with our podcast, it's one of those things where I tend not to re-listen to them for the sole fact of I was there.
That I just don't listen to them because I feel if I ever hear my voice recorded, I will blow up.
It's gonna be one of those things where you're trapped in the computer, like what people used to think with pictures, like "You took my soul." Oh yeah, how you doing, man?
I don't know, man. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be upset about this Trayvon Martin case. Zimmerman found not guilty. Surprised.
Wait, what?
Well, there's this whole Trayvon Martin case, if you've heard of it, but yeah, they just found the guy not guilty, which is a big surprise for a lot of people.
I have not been up on this case. I've been more focused on the Snowden thing than what this guy's doing. What's this case about?
This was happened maybe about I think around February or March of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy who pretty much appointed himself neighborhood watch, he basically shot.
Okay, that kid. Okay, I remember that now. The guy in neighborhood watch who shot the kid. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he's not guilty.
Yeah, that's what the jury found him as, and a lot of people seem pissed.
Really? I mean, he shot the kid. I heard his story. I was like, well, yeah, you probably don't deserve life in jail. Maybe not. I mean, because the kid. He was following the kid, which, if I remember the story of what I heard on the news, because I was there, I was behind him going, "What are you doing, man? Come on, we need to leave." No, he was following the kid, for whatever reason, he was trying to oh, he's suspicious, and I think the kid came at him for something. I'm not 100%, and he shot him dead.
There's a bunch of different. That's the thing is, I kind of started following the case beforehand, but I haven't been following lately, so I'm not sure what, new evidence, all this stuff coming out.
Uh-huh.
Apparently it was the guy, Zimmerman was following him, and, he even called the cops saying, there's a suspicious kid or whatever.
Okay.
The cops told him not to follow him, and yeah, there was then there was I'm not sure if it was new evidence or confusion or whatever, but they were talking about how possibly, Trayvon might have attacked Zimmerman or, maybe that, so yeah, it's a big back and forth on what happened and such.
Oh, so he was pleading the self-defense thing, so of course he got off scot-free. I mean, he even called the cops and everything, so he can plead that. I think that's what he was getting, was the self-defense, but, dude, you have a gun. The kid is armed. There's no way that kid's that ballsy where someone's pointing a gun at you and you're like, fuck it! He's not high on PCP.
Exactly, especially when Zimmerman was following him and the cops told him not to, but he kept following him anyways. I mean, even if I was, say I was walking somewhere in the dark and I saw someone following me, I mean, as paranoid as I can be, I'm not going to take lightly to that. I'm just going to be either I might turn around to confront the guy, I might try to outrun the guy. Who knows? I might
start doing that woman thing in the subway where I keep walking faster and faster and eventually just start on a full-on sprint.
And then you trip.
I know, and then I trip, and please, no, and it's what the fuck? And now when I say that, people are like, does Brandon, follow people in the subway? Just where you going, miss? You going to the train? You're all alone. I'd like to dress up like a homeless man and follow people on the weekends.
We all have our hobbies.
No, I just came back from Taco Bell not too long ago. Oh my god, I kind of wish we had a cheaper place to eat here in good old Colorado, because I'm tired of going to Taco Bell, and every time I go there, I'm just like, my whole stomach's just like, I hate you. I hate you. Like, I can go to fucking Wendy's or whatever, get a burger, and I'm just like, oh, that was alright, and not feel like I'm gonna die. I get like a couple burritos at Taco Bell, and it's just like, what did I eat? What fake beef bullshit did I put in my body? But what can I say? Those fucking Dorito tacos just, oh god, they're so good.
I've never had those.
You what? How have you never had them? I've had over 100 since they came out. I have.
What do you call
the Doritos?
What are they called? Locos, yeah.
Yeah, the Doritos Locos Taco. They're fucking good. They're amazing. You can either get them like just normal or with some messy little. Every time I get them with sour cream, I just look like a kid who just started learning how to eat like a piece of cake for the first time in his life. It's like all over the place and just like I like look like a crazy person when I'm sitting down. Just
sitting there in a high chair.
I'm like that dude who hasn't eaten in 3 months and I'm so freaking hungry where I'm just like, I'm just shoving food in my face or whatever. Oh, I mean, I love those things, but I feel like shit afterwards. I will get a 12 box or 12 taco box for myself. That's how much I love them. And I know people are probably thinking, well, that's why you feel like shit, asshole.
Exactly. Right now, I mean, I only get burritos and that's it. That or I'll just watch you guys eat.
I know, honestly. Yeah, people who don't know Nick, if you go to a restaurant, like a fast food restaurant with Nicky G here, you can offer to buy his food, and he will just like, no, I'm not hungry. We all think he's anorexic, and he needs help, everybody. So please send in your regards. Help Nick out.
You need to hire Sarah McLachlan and do a commercial for me.
I know. I will remember you. Help out Nicky G here. He doesn't like to eat fast food. He likes to eat salads. No. Oh, dude. I'm probably the worst eater out of our entire group, though. I'm going to be honest. I mean, it's up there between me and Nick. Because, like, Nick, he's the only guy I know who tried to eat a 7-pound burrito by himself.
Holy shit.
He didn't do it. He wasn't able to do it. He still ate about 3.5 pounds of burrito. And this wasn't just your average burrito. This was a breakfast burrito with an assload of cheese and an assload of potatoes and then a big ass tortilla and then it had ham and bacon on it. I mean, it sounds delicious, but most of it, like the potatoes and cheese, when they have like a half a thing of cheese in there and like 3 potatoes in there, that shit fills you up quick. So, I mean, the guy was able to eat about 3.5 pounds of that crap. My hat's off to him. But, yeah, we're about the worst eaters. Me, I'm the guy who gets 12 tacos for myself, or, I'll get a bucket of fried chicken and that lasts me like 2 days or something. But
Jesus Christ, just a bucket of chicken?
I do get that a lot. I'll go up to KFC and I'll be like, yeah, I'm a terrible eater, people. I'm just the worst. I try to eat, there was a time, like this summer even, I think it was, where I'm like, okay, like, I can't run up the street without being like, okay, I'm gonna die. So I was thinking, like, okay, I should get into shape a little bit. I've been working on it, but I think I'm being counterproductive when I work out, but then I ate really shitty. And I even told people, I was like, if we ever get a Whataburger up in Colorado, I'm dead. Because that's all I'm getting. That's all I would eat. I would literally just live off a Whataburger, just sit there and just, no, leave me alone.
Have you had it before?
Oh yeah, dude, it's fucking amazing.
I just heard stories about it.
Oh yeah, no, when I was in Oklahoma, they had it, and I had it about 3 times out there, and it was awesome every time. I got the same fucking thing. I just got a burger with fries. The fries are meh, but the burgers are just so good. And, they actually grill them up there and everything, and they're just delicious. I mean, the closest thing I can find out here that's close is a Five Guys. Five Guys burgers. That thing's pretty good, and I'm glad there's not one really close by. I mean, there's one within driving distance where I'm not like, I don't waste a half a tank to get there, but it's still just one of those things where I'm just like, it's not close enough for me to want to eat it.
Well, there you go, listeners. Wait for the upcoming film. Brandon and Nick go to Whataburger.
I know, Whataburger.
Just end up for me going, no, I'm not hungry.
No, It's like, we get there, I order half the menu, and I'm like, man, you want anything? Nah, I'm not hungry. I'll just smell it. No, actually, have you seen the commercial to that Wendy's pretzel burger?
A pretzel burger?
Yeah, oh yeah, basically it's a burger, but it's between two things, like a pretzel, basically. It's pretzel like bread. It's not like actual, like a pretzel between two hamburgers, which I think I'm gonna try one day, because I think that might be good itself. Just an actual fucking soft pretzel, and then put a hamburger, cheese, and all that stuff on it. And, basically it's not terrible. It's not that good for the price they're charging for it. Like, it's an $8 burger, for fuck's sakes. And it's filling. I do give it that. Pretzel bread is more filling than regular bread, or regular bun is. The pretzel bun is a lot more filling, and it kind of has a better taste to it. But what gets me, and I don't know why the fuck they thought this was a good idea. But, okay, so they put the cheese on there. You know the cheese you dip a pretzel in, that melted deliciousness? They put that cheese on there. But then they decide to add honey mustard, Nick.
Ugh.
Yeah, you're telling me. I mean, I like honey mustard, but I don't want it mixed in with that shit. So I'm getting this weird mixture on my palate of like, oh, God, this is weird. And that's the whole time I'm thinking. I was like, this is really interesting. I don't know. What do you think of Wendy's anyways, as it is? Do you like them?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I'll eat it. I'm just not, still, I'm not really huge on it. And, I mean, especially with, a lot of stuff like, like I'll eat a taco, but I won't eat it with sour cream or anything like that. I just don't like stuff being, in a small sense, smothered on there.
Oh, okay. So I'm not the big smothered person either. If someone gave me a choice saying, oh, you want a smothered burrito or a burrito, I'm like, I'll go with burrito. And maybe have some sauce for dipping or something. I'm weird like that. That's me though. But anyways, that was our fast food talk. Yeah, let's see. Do you want to get in the top 5 or do you want to get into movie news?
Oh, wait a minute. It looks like everyone just left to go eat fast food.
I know. Everyone just is either left to eat fast food or is agreeing with us on how amazing like Whataburger is or something. I made everyone hungry.
But, I guess we'll start with the top 5.
Alright, top 5. Brought to you by, well, Taco Bell. Why not? One day I'm gonna get like a little letter, or
cease and desist.
Cease and desist saying stop using our products or whatever, and we are not sponsoring you. Like, I'm not saying you are. I'm just, no one listens to us anyways. We have like, 10 viewers. So, alright, number 5 is actually quite surprising to me, being that it came out last fucking week. Number 5 is The Lone Ranger. Last week it was number 2, and now it's number 5. A lot of people aren't the biggest supporters of this movie yet, Nick. Have you seen it?
I have not. It's one of those movies where I'm just like, it looks, like, I'm a Westerns fan, so it's like, okay, it's kind of one of those things I might go to, but it's not one of those things I would just go to, like, if I had a choice.
People are being real fucking harsh on this movie, though. People are just all out there like, oh, I don't like it because it's too, like, I don't know what they were expecting from a Lone Ranger movie. I was like, the Lone Ranger show was pretty bad. I mean, it was bad. It was an old 70s or 60s show. I don't really know which one it was. It was an old show, which old shows automatically are garbage. They might be funny to watch because you're just like, this counted as entertainment? But they're not good. And this one is still fun and campy. I was like, I don't know what the hell you guys wanted. Like, I saw someone, they complained about the movie saying, oh, the whole movie, and they have sort of a valid complaint, but they're saying the whole movie, the main, the Lone Ranger, I forget what his name is in the movie, but, the Lone Ranger is saying how, like, I'm not a savage, even though he saw his brother get killed in front of him and all that, and he doesn't want to kill the main villain, and he's, making fun of Tonto, saying, or not making fun of, but, like, judging Tonto, saying, we're not gonna kill him, I'm not a savage, and all that. And they're like, well, that was stupid. I was like, it's just a campy film. And what would you rather it be? Go turn into a psychopath, like, kill everybody! And just like scalping him in front of everyone. Just screaming. I was like, what do you want? I mean,
especially for a Disney movie.
I was like, yes, it's a Disney movie. It reminded me, it was made by the guy who made the Pirates movies, and that's exactly what it felt like. And yet, people are so much more lenient on the pirate movies. I'm like, the pirate movies are the same exact thing where they're fun and campy and pirates are the good guys. I'm like, yeah, pirates were the horrible human beings, but the British Army are bad. I'm not saying the British were good, but they weren't that bad.
They weren't, raping people and pillaging villages. Well,
no. Well, okay. They at least pretended like they had some sense of honor,
They wore wigs at least.
I know, they at least wore wigs. They weren't imperialist bastards or anything. So Lone Ranger, it's doing fairly well. I'm using IMDb right now to look at the top 5, so I can't tell you if it broke even or if it made more than what it made or whatnot. All I could say it made $11.1 million this week, and its overall gross is $71.1 million. So I think it's doing fairly well. It's not doing half as well as number 1, but it's doing fairly well. All right, time for number 4. Number 4 is actually very surprising to me. The Heat.
Oh, hanging in there.
Yeah, it's. I said it. I knew this movie was going to be in here for a while because it's the woman raunchy comedy, and women like raunchy comedies too. But they want they don't want to see a bunch of dudes like going to strip clubs and stuff because why would that interest them? Unless they're they like seeing half naked women, so they have to go the opposite around where they have raunchy comedy for women where it's basically. I think this is going to be this year's Bridesmaids. I'm not going to lie. It's made by the same guy, for God's sake. So yeah, this is this year's Bridesmaids. I hand it to the guy. I hand it to this director. He knows how to get the crowd. He knows what to do.
I mean, do you feel this is kind of like the somewhat, I don't want to say generic, but kind of the generic comedy, kind of like we get Hall Pass and all those other films. We have the...
Yes. I agree. Yes, it is. It is probably it's the generic buddy cop thing where you have the bad cop, good cop. I think I said this last week, but yeah, it's that. It's just that generic comedy where it's like, oh, yeah, look at, it's kind of like Cop Out in a way. That movie that came out a little while ago?
Yeah.
Where Bruce Willis is the good cop and then you got what's his face, or Tracy Morgan, the bad cop. It's not, maybe they're probably two completely different movies, but it's like kind of the same premise there. And I haven't seen this movie because, well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be seeing less movies, and that's so I can get more game stuff out. So we started out as a gaming website. I'm gonna keep us as more of a gaming website. So the movie thing is just kind of something extra on the side. So I'm gonna try to see the good, like the ones that I'm actually excited for and stuff. But for the most part, I'm not gonna see every fucking movie that I was originally planning on doing. Like, I need to see everything, and then I don't make enough to see everything. Oh.
Well, I mean, speaking of generic comedies possibly coming out, have you seen the commercial for Meet the Millers?
I have not. What's that?
Basically, you got there's a guy from Hall Pass and Horrible Boss. It's not Jason Bateman, not Charlie Day, but
that dude. Yeah, I forget his name. Yeah, he was in, what's his... He was in the Hangover. The Hangover dude. No, wait, no, it was not the Hangover dude. I totally fucked that up. No, it's the other dude. It's the other dude, and that's not... Yeah, he's in Horrible Bosses, and... Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name.
Yeah. Well, basically, it's, I haven't seen the trailer in a while, so forgive me, audience members, if my premise is a little wrong here, but basically, it's kind of like he's I don't want to say he's like a drug dealer, but basically, he gets hired to do a job where he goes down to Mexico and picks up a bunch of drugs from a cartel, and he has to bring it back. And so in order to get into Mexico and back out, he's going to take a bunch of people. He's going to take his neighbor, some street rat girl, and a stripper, and pretend that's his family.
I've seen that trailer. I saw it once in the theater. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Where he just, they basically do a fake family to go down to the cartel, and then they get a bunch of drugs, and then it basically becomes that road comedy.
I mean, how do you feel? I mean, first I'll ask you, I think this is going to be pretty simple, because if you don't guess this, it's going to happen, then,
yeah.
It's just so generic, but how much do you expect them to go with we accidentally got high off this weed?
They're going to do it for sure. They're gonna do it for sure. I bet if not he accidentally, the street rat girl's gonna do something to get him high or something like. It's gonna be something like that, of course. I mean, the movie's gonna be one. It's gonna be one of those things where people who like those movies are gonna see it and they're gonna think it's the best thing ever.
Especially because I think it's one of those things that it's going to be number one for a while. I mean, when it first comes out, I bet it's going to,
it might
be number one for a while.
I don't know.
For like a week at least.
It depends.
Depending on what's out.
Yeah, it's like, it really depends what's out. Like, I was completely wrong about what was going to be the top 5 this week. So, what would you think is number 3?
Number 3. I'm going to say Monsters University would be my guess.
No, I was actually wrong about that too. I was wrong because I totally forgot about the number 1 movie that was coming out this week. Monsters University dropped. It went from number 4 to number 6. That one's gone. But, number 1 will explain why. Number 3 is kind of just the saddest thing I've seen. And it's barely number 3, but, it's just sad. Pacific Rim.
Wow. I kind of forgot that was out.
Yeah, that movie was good. Okay. I enjoyed it. It was one of those movies where it had bad acting. Like, the guy who plays the main character, he's from Sons of Anarchy. He's not a very good actor. I hate to say, he was not very good. He was literally like the protagonist in that game that I just, the review you'll see soon enough, The Scourge Outbreak. He literally is the generic white man with, artfully unshaven, nice shaven head, somehow, I always love it in movies where they show some guy who, quote unquote, is homeless, and then he cleans up like that,
So he's the battleship.
Yeah, he really is. He really is just this generic white male. And he's not actually, the best actor in this movie was Idris Elba. Idris Elba was so freaking good in this movie. I liked him a lot. He actually has that cool speech that you kind of hear in the trailer. Much better in the movie. But what really sells this movie, and the only reason why I'd ever tell anybody in the world to see this, if you hear giant robots versus giant aliens fighting, and if that gets you hard, you should go see that movie. If you think about that and said, oh, that could be interesting, don't go see the movie. Don't. It looks great, it's amazing to look at, and it has badass fight scenes, but you're not going to enjoy it as much. Nick says he wants to do a full review, so that's all I'm going to say about it without, just going into a whole review there. So whenever I can get with him, he says he wants to do a full review of it, so we'll see. That'll be up to him. So that's number 3, which makes number 2 kind of just pisses me off. Grown Ups 2.
Oh. What? Didn't you like Grown Ups 1?
Okay.
Or you thought it was alright?
I thought it was alright. I gave it a pass. I was like, okay. I saw it on Netflix. I didn't see it when it first came out, but I did see it on Netflix. I'm like, alright, this is one of Adam Sandler's decent films. It's not one of his best, and it's not one of his worst. It's not a Little Nicky, but it's not a Happy Gilmore. It's a nice, it's an in-betweener where it's like, okay, Grown Ups, that's, it gets all these guys, they're having fun. Grown Ups 2, I didn't see it. I don't want to see it. And I can't believe people did see it. Honestly, they can have Adam Sandler just sitting in it, Adam Sandler and his little, Happy Madison crew, just sitting on a boat and just going, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo, I poop on you, for 2.5 hours, and people will still go and see it because it said Adam Sandler in Scooby-Doo on a boat.
Dude, God, you just gave them a new premise.
I know.
They're gonna go out on a cruise next time.
Yeah, Grown Ups 3, they go on a cruise. And then, oh no, look at this, now we have to have a fat joke with Kevin Smith, and we gotta have a small joke with David Spade, and we gotta have, Adam Sandler try to be the middleman because he plays a straight character now. I don't know about you, I miss the Adam Sandler that would, lose his shit over everything. Happy Gilmore style when he played, some dude that needed serious anger management.
You're gonna die, clown.
Exactly, The Price is Wrong, but I don't like that Adam Sandler. Now, he's playing more of the straight-laced Adam Sandler where he's just always in that, my friends are crazy, but I'm trying to hold together. I mean, I guess he tried to go back to that with that one bad movie with What's His Butt, where he plays as that dude's dad that he had a kid at 10 years old or whatever.
That's My Boy.
Oh, God. I threw up in my mouth just thinking about that, but alright. Yeah.
Well,
What?
well, first I want to say, you said Kevin Smith, it's Kevin James. I don't mean
Oh
to
yeah.
nitpick,
Oh my bad. You're right. I know. I like Kevin Smith. I feel like shit now. Kevin James. Thank you. Yes, the King of Queens. Where he played a UPS driver, because that was a hell of an idea.
Did you love Zookeeper and Here Comes the Boom?
Oh no, not as much as I love Paul Mall Cop or Paul Blart Mall Cop. Yeah.
Don't worry, they're actually making. Well, I'm pretty sure I just saw a couple of weeks ago they are making a Zookeeper 2.
Oh my
so
god.
you're in luck.
Yay! That's what I have to hand it to you, Adam Sandler. If I could get paid just to do, if I could get
Vacations.
paid, yeah, I know. That one's not even a vacation. Grown-ups too. They're just if I could just, get paid just to have a premise of a movie and just make up shit as it goes along. Like, wouldn't it be funny if they had to go skinny dipping and they're all a bunch of old guys? Okay, well, I gotta go skinny dipping now, and we're all old. That's gonna be the joke here. That's the entire thing. Like, they might as well just do a skit show, honestly. Called like Saturday Night Live or something. I don't know.
Well, that's one of those things too. It's where it's like, I don't know, I like Adam Sandler as a person, but it's one of those things where even Grown Ups 1, I didn't hate it. I was along the lines of you, where it's just I thought I was all right, and even that had more of a kind of a premise. They all kind of get back together.
It was a premise and nothing more. They didn't have. He doesn't know. He hasn't known what a plot was since his generic one. Like, honestly, Happy Gilmore did not have a big plot to it. That was kind of like the save the school, but it was save grandma. So But let's get into number one, Nick. Number one. This one is why Monsters University is just gone.
Is it because of those little McNuggets?
Yes, it's because the little McNuggets are back with their little, McNugget jibba jabba. Do they even speak? Is that like an actual language they're speaking?
I have no clue. I guess we'll say what it is first before
It's Despicable Me 2. I never saw the original Despicable Me because, well, folks, I don't watch a lot of kids movies nowadays because, well, I don't have any kids, so why would I? I hate to say it. It's not like it's not like I'm an actual film critic where I get to see all the movies for free and I have to see. I would actually have to go up to the box office and look the young teenage girl in the eyes and say, I would like one for Despicable Me 2, please. And then I have to hand them my credit card and let them charge me to see a child's movie. And while they look at me and say, okay, we need to escort every child out of that theater.
You're sitting there with a bucket of candy and a teddy bear in the other hand.
Well, people who don't, like every viewer we have, or listener we have, they don't know what I look like. I have a beard. And so when you have a bearded guy go up to the box office and say, can I get to see one for Despicable Me 2? I might as well go up there with a trench coat or fucking a bath towel just wrapped around my waist. One for Despicable Me 2? That's Steve Carell. He's funny right there. It's not good. It's not a sight anyone needs to see.
Yeah. I haven't seen the first one. I kind of actually want to see it just because, well, I wouldn't have to go in the movie theater just to see it.
Exactly.
Nowadays I could just see it on TV, but I was thinking I'd have to wait, and it's just one of those things where it's like, I'd like to give it a chance.
I want to see it, but I wouldn't pay. I wouldn't I wouldn't buy it, and I wouldn't, I wouldn't, if it was on Netflix, I'd watch it. That's about as far as I'm willing to go with it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, oh, it's on DVD, I'm just gonna purchase this and just pretend at the cashier, oh, it's for my kid. No, I'm kidding. Well, actually, I could pull the nephew card, because I do have a nephew, because I could always do, it's for my nephew, baby. And they could be like, oh, you're such a good uncle. And I'm like, yeah, it's nothing.
Get in the car.
What are you doing tonight? Oh, my boyfriend. Oh, okay.
Want to watch Despicable Me?
I know you want to watch Despicable Me. And after that, we could play some Pokemon. No, yeah, Despicable Me, it's doing really well. Really fucking well. Which is weird. It's been in the box office for 2 weeks now, and wow, is it doing good. It's made, this is the highest grossing one. The Heat made $112 million. This has made over $229 million.
Damn.
Yeah, this actually, It's almost caught up with Monsters University. Monsters University made $238 million.
Like, isn't this the top grossing one out of all? I'm not sure. Is it Pixar or just Disney films or whatever?
Not either. I don't think so. I don't think it's Disney at all. I thought this was like a DreamWorks thing.
DreamWorks.
Let's see.
I can never tell.
I honestly, they all kind of flushed together after a while. I clicked on it because let me see if it tells me Steve Carell. No, just tell me who it is. Who it is. I know, folks. I do this quite often sometimes, but I'm trying to find where they tell me country fuckers. Okay, yeah, this is. I'm looking for at the production company. See who fucking produced this. Yeah, no, this is Universal.
Oh, all right.
It's the Universal one, so I don't really know. I'm trying to think who the hell owns Universal or who's. Is DreamWorks part of Universal?
I don't. Actually, no, maybe.
I don't know.
I think it is. I think it is part of Universal.
It might be. I'm trying to see if I find out because I really just want to know right now. This kind of
good. Well, it's one of those things where if you've ever seen those Universal Studio commercials, they have Shrek and Donkey there in the commercial.
Yeah,
so they're part of DreamWorks.
It might be. I don't know. Somebody who listens, please let us know because I currently can't find if it's a Universal or DreamWorks or because usually they kind of post it everywhere like DreamWorks presents blah 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 blah. All right, well that's our top 5. Let's get into news. Time for some movie news. All right, so I gotta ask you real quick. Have you seen this new trailer of Hell Baby?
Hell Baby?
Hell Baby, yes. It's a new parody trailer, or like a parody movie. It's one of those movies that's making fun of the exorcism. It's made by the guys who did Reno 911, to my knowledge. Yeah.
Thank God. For a moment there, I thought you were going to say disaster movie.
No. It's not that bad. They actually have some good people in that, attached to this movie. They have Rob Corddry. You know who I'm talking about. The guy from Hot Tub Time Machine, the bald guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like one of the main characters in it, and he's funny as fuck. They also got one of the bald guy with the messed up tooth in the League. They have him there. They have Leslie Bibb. It's hard to explain who she is, but she's that. Where did I see her from? I'm trying to think of a movie she was in. She was in movie 43. I can't think of it, but basically, it's making the evil baby comes, possesses her and all that shit, and they have to basically. It's a parody on all that. They have the priest, one of the guys from Reno 911. He plays as this badass priest, and he was actually kind of funny in it. The trailer did not make me laugh, which means the movie's not going to make me laugh.
Well, you never know. Maybe they're hiding the good stuff. I mean, how do you feel about Reno 911? Have you ever seen that?
I watched a couple of episodes. I'm not the biggest fan of it. If people like it, that's their own deal. You can like it, that's fine. Just don't ever ask me to watch it with you because I think it's kind of dumb. I mean, I don't know. What do you think of that?
Well, now I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
You're like a box set of Reno 911.
But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like you. I've seen a couple episodes, but I'm not going to go out of my way to see it.
Yeah, it's another parody movie. Those things. They cost $1.50 to make for the most part. I mean, actually, this one probably costs a little bit more because they're getting some talented people. Like Rob Corddry, he's a talented motherfucker. I think he's hilarious. So, I mean, whether or not this was a good choice on his part or whatnot, that's up for debate. But they're doing better than what the assholes who make Disaster Movie and all those guys who are still around for fuck's sakes. They're not making as many movies. But they're still, I think they even got another movie in the works. Ugh. The last movie those assholes made was that Vampires Suck, which bombed. No, it bombed. No, it was good. It was good. It was good the fact that they just went down the drain. Yeah, those guys, and even the scary movies, they use like these basically no name or people you can get for like $50, actors, and then they just, they're just like, here you go, here's a parody movie. Oh, it only made like, $10 million. Guess what? It only took us $5 million to make. Ha! All right.
God, I hate those movies.
I got some sad news. Well, maybe sad news. Chances of Hellboy 3 happening? Probably not going to happen. Are you a Hellboy fan?
Not really. I mean, I think I've only seen the first one, and that was
okay. That makes sense. Okay,
ago.
Hellboy 1 was meh. It wasn't that great. I agree. I really dug the shit out of Hellboy 2. I did. You need to see Hellboy 2 because Hellboy 2 was really freaking good with Hellboy versus the basically the last elf type character, and it was a really good movie. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. But they're saying Hellboy 3, if they're going to make one, they got to make one now. Basically, for the sole fact of Ron Perlman's getting old. And,
exactly.
he is. I saw him in fucking, I saw him in the, Pacific Rim. He's getting old. He's not going to be able to do that. I mean, unless they, CG the fuck out of him, which I don't want them to do. I don't like it when they, CG the hell out of shit. So it's
Hellboy's just gonna walk out. Look at those monsters. Get off of my.
I know. Well, like they said, the article says a nice little joke I like. And I'll give them credit where credit's due. It's on. Well, it's on Empire.com. Writer Ali Plum, but. He or she, I really don't know which one I'd be. I think it's a he. But he says, I don't think you want to see Hellboy chasing anyone in a rascal. And I'm like, I agree. I really do agree. I'm just like, because that would just, it wouldn't be good. I mean, the only thing I can think of they can do is, pick another actor to be Hellboy. I mean, that's all you could do. And I don't understand the Hellboy fans and, probably wouldn't be the too keen on that, but I don't know what else you could do.
Voiceover maybe, but that's a stretch.
That's a stretch there. I mean, they'd have to do some serious lip syncing and have an actor who looks like Ron Perlman's voice, or have a lot of stunt doubles. Because that's about all I can think you could do. I want to see a Hellboy 3. Because I really liked Hellboy 2, and I think it's a cool concept. Well, Demon Hunter who was a demon who, I think that's cool. And I just kind of want to, I don't know. You need to see Hellboy 2, and then you could be like, Brandon, you are so fucking right. Hellboy 3 would be awesome.
I'll just come out and say, Brandon, you fucking suck. Why'd you just recommend that?
You could be like, you asshole, the Hellboy 2 is stupid. I know there's probably some people who do think Hellboy 2 is stupid, and I say, well, that's your opinion. If you don't like Hellboy 2, you get your own podcast and you tell me why you don't like Hellboy 2. I like Hellboy 2. Hellboy 1 was the one I was like, oh, okay, this one's kind of dumb. You're just fighting Nazis.
I can't wait to see that podcast.
The movie thingy thing podcast. No, what was the piece of movie news do you have?
Okay. Well, first piece of news. This came out maybe about a week or 2 weeks ago. And this is for all, one of our World of Warcraft fans, which is, me. But, what they're saying is they are almost ready to go. They're pretty much picking up a script for, a statement saying, so for us, it's that we don't know how to make a movie out of Warcraft, the video game. It's an incredible story, the war, all these races, and everything that these guys at Blizzard have come up with. They have about 100 books, 100 incredible, a rich world they've created. And so, let's see, Legendary Pictures is doing the movie.
Uh-huh.
So basically, they're saying it'll probably be out. It's going to be probably released around 2016. So go ahead.
Oh well, I want to see. I want to see more swords and fantasy movies because I've been digging the sci-fi thing we've been getting this year, but we're getting so much sci-fi that we're not getting any, fantasy. Like we get The Hobbit. That's the only one I can think of. So I want to see this, but I gotta ask Nick, is there any central character? Like I understand, to my knowledge, the villain they're gonna have is probably gonna be the Lich King. Is that correct? Has that been announced or?
It isn't. It hasn't been announced yet, but I mean, it is kind of one of the. I guess you would call him one of the really main central ones, because he was like he was also before the MMO was out.
Oh, really?
He was in the before. He was in the games beforehand. Like he was in one of the games, and he had like 2 other games and such.
Oh, really? Oh, I did not. I didn't know he was actually. I thought he was something they just made up to have another expansion or something.
No, that's what they did with the fucking pandas.
Oh god.
Otherwise, all the other ones were already in the lore.
Well, like, what kind of villains do they have? They have the Lich King, and don't they have like some big ass central dragon or something?
Yeah, he was part of like the I can't remember if he was part of the 5 aspects or if he was maybe at the 6th one added in, but basically he was kind of like I guess you'd call him kind of like the fallen angel of these big main dragons. Like they have different aspects of dragons and such. And so yeah, he was kind of under the in the earth, in the core, kind of being kind of rebuilt a little bit, like all his shit getting fixed up, and he comes up, he doesn't give a shit, he just wants to destroy the world. And yeah.
Okay, do they have a central hero though? Like, is there, like, I don't know if you go beyond the game, like the MMO or not. I don't know if you're like one of those guys that are so hardcore into a game where you start reading the books and stuff, or are you just purely just the MMO?
I really do like the lore, but I mean, I don't buy any of the books, or I don't go on sometimes I go all the way to this. The thing about WoW is a lot of these characters. I mean, even these NCPs that you walk around, that you could just walk around and see them. You might look at them and you don't know these guys even have a big backstory. They're part of something bigger. Stuff. And yeah, a lot of them, kind of like how I was just saying, in the statement they were saying there's like 100 books, and there really is. I mean, there's a lot of kind of bigger heroes and such, like people who do bend into the story, like I'm not sure I'm pronouncing this right, but maybe he's kind of like a big droid or thrall. He was the leader of the Horde, and he has a really big a big piece in a lot of these expansions and such. And people who fight the Lich King, like Tyrion Fordering, a lot of nonsense that people like you don't really know about.
Yeah, I know, honestly. Okay, I got one more thing I just thought of. All right. How many people are gonna nerd rage when because they're gonna pick like a character from the Alliance side. They're gonna have like a human main character, maybe he has like an elf partner, and maybe like a dwarf partner. Basically like Lord of the Rings. Because let's be honest, Warcraft takes a lot from fucking Tolkien. You think people are gonna be in an uproar if they, because they don't pick any Horde people? Because I know how people love the Horde, and everyone's like, "Oh, Alliance is for pussies."
Well, I think if they do that, yeah. I mean, I'm in the kind of camp where I think they will mix it up. So, I mean, they probably will have Horde and Alliance separate at that point, but they probably will have a mixture of characters. Even in the game, you do have there are parts where you and the Horde, Alliance and Horde work together, or you have other kind of factions that have both Horde and Alliance in them that work together and such. And
all I'm thinking though, Nick, is this is my picture in my head, because this is Hollywood. And Hollywood is not the best at adapting games to movies. My theory on what they're gonna do is they're gonna either add like the Dragon and Lich King, or one of the many other villains that are pretty central and popular, as the central villain. And he's gonna probably command an army of the Horde. And basically you're gonna have like our heroes or heroes army, whatever, and it's just gonna be, them versus them, And you know what I'm thinking though? And after seeing the Blizzard cutscenes, I really want this. I want, they can release this movie, whatever. I want Blizzard to release a movie with their cutscenes. I want to have them release their movie with those epic, fucking cool, kick-ass looking cutscenes where they just, they just go with whatever story they have. They're the ones that make up the fucking stories.
Yeah. And, don't mean to disagree with you. Well, it's not even disagreeing. It's just, there's like the Horde and the Alliance. I can't say none of them are really bad. But I mean, even the Horde, they're not really the bad guys. It's more of a misunderstood kind of story. I mean, if anything, humans are kind of somewhat more of the dicks out of everyone, because they don't want to make the trolls and orcs slaves and shit.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I mean, you get bad leaders out of both. Like Thrall, when he was leader, I mean, he's one that wants peace.
Uh-huh.
And, the king of the alliance right now is, Barbarian, and he's kind of a warmonger, kind of the same as, like, right now, Thrall kind of left the Horde to deal with that dragon and shit. And, basically you have a Garrosh coming in, he's kind of the same as the king of the alliance. They're both just warmongers, they hate each other. I mean, everyone else is they kind of don't care, like the Forsaken, which are like the undead, they're kind of like zombies.
Uh-huh.
They're people who, they owned this land, and the Alliance is trying to push them out, even though they've just come back to life. But because the Alliance looks at them as zombies, they don't look at them as people. So they look at them as monsters and shit. So they want to just kill them and destroy them when
is this
they're
all
just
in the games?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're really just misunderstood.
Huh. I didn't realize that. Like, no wonder no one likes the Alliance. They're a bunch of racist assholes.
Basically,
like, oh.
Basically, I mean, it really is too, but it also goes back two ways. So, kind of the Horde, like, they'll destroy the woods of the kind of hippie elves of the Alliance, which I'm not a fan of elves, really.
Fuck elves, dude. Fuck elves.
you get the night elves, and then you get the blood elves, and the blood elves were kind of somewhat betrayed by the humans as well. So, yeah, I mean, Alliance really does have a lot of, shit on its boots, but basically.
Huh. I did not realize that. See, I really thought it was... I guess, I never hear anybody talk about the Warhammer story. Like, all I ever hear about people doing when they talk about, World of Warcraft. I said Warhammer, I realized that. Yeah, World of Warcraft. Okay, let me be honest. If I say Warhammer, let's be honest. Warhammer came out way before Warcraft, so I don't even want to hear anyone, oh, how dare you. No, Warhammer was here first, and it was here longer. It just doesn't have it's not as popular for whatever reason. But anyways, yeah, I'm still never gonna play that MMO because fuck that noise. I cannot do MMOs. Just I guess just someone telling me, yeah, just pay $15 a month to play this one game. And how Warcraft can still charge people when basically every other MMO I can think of is free.
Well, I think it's a lot of them because they weren't as successful. Like, a lot of them do start off as, you have to pay, like, Star Wars, The Old Republic, you had to start to pay.
Yeah,
when it first came out.
Yeah, when that one first came out, you had to pay, but now it's free to play, which is cool because I'm a real big Star Wars junkie, especially The Old Republic. Guild Wars, the one I did play, that one was automatically free to play, and that's literally, it is like Warhammer a lot, but they kind of have, they have their own different classes. They have less classes, of course. They only have like 4 instead of having, where Warcraft had like, I don't know. How many different races can you play?
You can play, let's see. I'm gonna say probably, I think there's like at least 5 races each side. Now you got the fucking pandas, which you could choose either go to Alliance or the Horde. So probably about like 6 on each side.
Wasn't there something where we were reading like people were trying to hunt down the pandas?
Yeah, there are people that do, there are people like me, like I play the trial nowadays, but I don't hunt down pandas just cause it's pandas. Like, I'll basically kill anyone that's on the opposite side of what team I'm playing.
You kill everyone. You're that guy in that episode of South Park that just kind of hunts everybody down. Speaking of which, I have a little recommendation right now that I know I'm a little late to the party, everybody, but I just started watching season 1 of Spartacus. That's a fucking good show. Like, wow. I like, it made me kind of wish there was more like, gladiatorial type of games. All I could think of is Spartacus. And there was one back on the original Xbox called Gladius, but, that's older. That's all I can say to that. That's old. I don't want to play that. Yeah, the Spartacus show, Nick, I would recommend, checking it out. It's, you can actually go to Walmart. The season's like $20 for season 1, 2, 3. They're all 20. So, Yeah, seriously, check it out. It's a really good show, but I have to say this show has more boobs and male dong than like Game of Thrones. I mean, it's just everywhere. Like
I was about to say that's just the point with costumes.
it almost is like literally. Okay, the episode I just finished watching, and they were in the arena fighting, and then they'll just cut to the crowd, and you see women just with their tits hanging out. I'm like, I don't know if this is a historically accurate, but did women really just have their tits just hang out? Did they just like not give a shit? Like, and I always laugh when like people are like, oh, her, in today's age where they're like, oh, her tits are hanging out. It's like, you have no idea. Because apparently back in the olden days, they just didn't even believe in shirts sometimes. They'll just like, woo! They just, It is really cool though. You just get to see, I mean, it's gory as fuck. I mean, oh god, it's awesome. Like, you literally, in one episode, you see a guy get his face cut off. I mean, or Spartacus in one episode sticks his fingers in that guy's eyes, and that even had me going, oh shit. I mean, it is brutal as fuck. I did notice one thing in the first episode, they stylized it differently, and then I think what they noticed, it wasn't getting pretty good hits because the second episode they completely changed the way they stylized it, and I thought that was really interesting. If there's one flaw I can say with the game or movie, I'm so used to talking about games, is you can tell the background is a background sometimes. You'll look at it, you're like, okay, that's a green screen. Yeah, okay. And that's a little sad. It's a pretty high budget TV show, and it's a good story, but it's just, I guess I could say, is not as high budget as, say, like Game of Thrones is. Game of Thrones is much popular, but you know what? I handed to the show way more episodes. It doesn't just do 10 episodes. It has like 20 something episodes in season 1, and they're all hour-long episodes. So, thank you, Starz, for if you produce a good show, you don't just like, 10 episodes, that's all you're going to get. And they release it for cheaper than Game of Thrones. So, I would really suggest checking it out. It's fucking awesome. We got about 8 minutes left. Do you got any quick recommendations? Not reviews, but just like, maybe something you're watching right now and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I'll save some news for next week, but there's one thing. There was this movie commercial, this trailer I saw, and this thing was, I think it's going to be one of our top 5, top 10 movies this year.
Okay, what is it? You're making some bold statements now.
I mean, this might be Oscar nominated just because it looks freaking amazing. And so, I was watching this show called Escape. That's what the commercial came on. This movie called Sharknado.
Oh, okay, I did see part of that. I like the part of that trailer. Oh my god. Yeah, isn't that like, okay, you've seen the full trailer, but isn't that a shark that could just shoot out of the sky or something?
No, what happens is basically there's a storm. I'm not sure where this, I mean, it looks like the setting is a Jersey, but someone in the trailer says, we gotta get out of Kansas.
Uh-huh.
So this kind of also brings up a what the fuck is why is a shark in Kansas?
Uh-huh.
Well, not just one shark, but basically there's a storm that's coming, and first it makes it seem like it's going to be just like a disaster movie.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of there's a tons of sharks that are being brought to the shore for some reason, and so it's not just one shark; it is just a shitload of great whites. And basically this storm just produces an F5 tornado. And so this tornado starts picking up sharks and throwing them into the city. And so this is just a crazy ass trailer. Cause, you see some guy pick up a chainsaw, hold it up, and cut a shark in half as the shark is flying towards him.
Oh my god.
Doesn't make any physical
that's not even, I know,
possibility.
Oh my god, so we have sentient tornadoes and sharks that apparently can survive outside of water.
Exactly.
Oh.
And if this happens to be in Kansas, that just doesn't make any sense either. Then again, what else makes sense?
True.
But
well, it has to happen in the Midwest because tornadoes don't happen near oceans.
Exactly. It's one of those things too where it's like, you also get, these great actors like, Tara Reid, wherever the hell she's been.
Who?
Tara Reid, she was from American Pie.
Oh.
She was the blonde one.
Okay, yeah. Talk about God damn. I love how sharks have become the big, I can't even call them B movies, but like I guess F movies or whatever. Like,
Sharktopus.
Yeah, like it's funny. Is Sharktopus Mega Shark versus like Super Croc or whatever? I forget what it was, or Mega Shark.
Two-headed shark.
Yeah, it's a bunch of these, or I think it was the Mega Shark one where they actually have a scene where the shark jumps out of the ocean and grabs a full-on fucking plane and drags it down. I was like, what the fuck? So you're saying that shark can fly hundreds of miles into the air and take down an entire plane? All right.
This is being released on Sci-Fi, so of course, all the stuff they bring out.
Sci-Fi is the channel where you get great movies like Raptor Island and Sharktopus. You get these basically movies where it's like some dude, some like ex metalhead junkie, where it's just like, dude, it'd be awesome if a bunch of sharks were in a tornado, but then like the sharks would start flying out of the tornado, and we'll call it Sharknado. See, oh my god.
Sharks that make tiger noises.
It's like they couldn't get the soundboard right. They're like, dude, we don't have any shark noises. Just get the tiger. No one knows what a shark sounds like anyways. Which is true, because fuck if I know what a shark sounds like. Oh my god. I think it's safe to say the only good shark movie to ever come out will be Jaws. Just Jaws. Actually, no, that's incorrect. I think it's Deep Blue Sea. That one's just funny, really.
Yeah.
With Samuel L. Jackson as the main character, who's not really the main character. No.
And LL Cool J.
Oh god, I forgot he was. He could stay on a CSI Miami show wherever the fuck he's hanging. He's, I think I forget who said it. I heard somewhere that cop shows where actors' careers go to die. Because hell, I even think Lawrence Fishburne is on a cop show right now.
Shit, yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he's there. The asshole who played as Robin in the Batman and Robin, he's there. Fuck, I'm trying to think who else is just career just went. I even kind of think Kevin Bacon's going downhill, being that I saw him in his cop show the following. I'm like, come on, Kevin Bacon.
Well, I mean, it's not like he's done. I mean, what's the last thing he's done?
Last thing I remember.
First Class.
Oh, yeah, it was First Class. I was gonna say Super, but no, he was in First Class, which was a big blockbuster film. So Kevin Bacon might be, that one guy who's, maybe not. But yeah, it's just cop shows. God damn, I can't stand those shows. I'm gonna be honest. That's like, I might as well watch Judge Judy if I'm gonna watch that stupid shit.
The only thing I watch is Criminal Minds, but that's it doesn't have any of those A-lister actors. It's just, I like it the best.
I always laugh at Criminal Minds just because it has the guy from what the hell was that show? Come on, I want to say Will and Grace, but it wasn't Will and Grace. Oh, fuck.
Oh shit, I think I know.
Yeah.
I think I know you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, the one where he played the main guy on the Criminal Minds played some uptight guy, and he was with that chick who was so free-spirited. They were like the odd couple, but they were an actual couple. And I'm just like, why would these two ever marry?
Will and Grace?
Was it Will and Grace? I thought Will and Grace was about like the gay couple or something like that.
Probably.
I don't know.
Who knows? We don't watch those.
I don't fucking watch it. I just remember he was in it. I was just like, dude, you trying to be all serious right now? That's like seeing the guy in that Flashpoint show who's on Just Shoot Me. I'm like, I can't take you serious, because I remember the episode of Just Shoot Me where that actor played as, he was trying to pretend to be a retard so he can get sympathy or something. I forget what he was playing a retard for, but anytime I see him, all I think is chicken pot, chicken pot, chicken pot pie. Oh.
Who's that? He's the guy who plays Urkel.
Oh, I don't know who the hell plays Urkel.
But it's always fun to see him try to try to be either bad as that, or nowadays he's on like another sci-fi show called Blackout.
Oh, is he?
And stuff, but it's always fun because I just see him. I go, Urkel.
Did I do that? Like Gary Coleman trying to do some serious cop show. You just like, oh, dude, just one time you just gotta say, what'd you talk about? Too bad Gary Coleman's no longer with us, but that's not my fault. He had a crazy fucking wife.
Exactly.
That's basically our show. We just started shooting the shit towards the end of that, but that's the whole point of podcasting. If you can't have fun with it, what's the point? Alright, like us on Facebook. If you want your comments read and seen, you have to go to our site, because honestly, I'm not going to probably see it on YouTube. I tend to, one, stay away from YouTube comments, and two, YouTube doesn't inform me as well as I wish it would. It's not the big thing saying, hey, you got a comment. My website does. So visit us at bloodscreen.weebly.com if you want to ask us anything, talk to us about movies. I'm always willing to chat. Just give us a ring. We'll chat it up. Yeah, that's our show. Subscribe. You get more subscribers, then we can add better quality and more shit to the show. I hate to say it, I'm kind of like enticing people. If you want a better show, you gotta make us more popular. Yeah, that's it, everybody. Good night.